Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University, and I've mostly got my voice back. So, Season 1, Episode 5 of Krypton, House of Zod. This really was a good House of Zod. Not an introduction, obviously, they've already been established, but this is a really good way to be like, hey, check it out. This is what the House of Zod represents. So we get to see Mama Zod, and she's kind of no nonsense. It's cool because they didn't show her as being this ruthless bee that she is in the future, which she absolutely is. Like in the current timeline, she is ruthless, she is evil, she's a bee. You know what I'm saying? Just like she's clearly at odds with herself and what she believes and her, their belief system that was ingrained into her. When her brother beat her in the fight, but he held back out of mercy for her, and then that was drilled out of him by his father, but not just by his father, by his sister also, because while he's learning this lesson, at his father's feet, she jumps him from behind, hoping to win her father's, approval, and doesn't have any kind of mercy. Kneel before Zod. No Zod kneels before anyone. What's up, cool guy? But she beats the hell out of him. But it's like you jumped him from behind. Where's the honor in that? Where's the honor in that? I get the fight hasn't necessarily finished, but no. So I'm thinking right there, it's like, okay, that's it. There's no way to save her character, right? Nope. Later on, they show that she does have some kind of mercy. When they get to the rebreather, the one, you had to have known there's only going to be one oxygen mask there. She gets there, they both get there, and it's like, okay, we could share it to get back home. We got here without it. So he's like, no, we can't. He was showing major weakness. And then he attacked her also. So, I guess the most mercy she had was she just broke his leg and left him to lay there. It's like, you still got a chance, and maybe, if you can make it, Dad and I will come back for you, but I guess that's the reason why you have two kids as a Zod, because one of them must die. You have to weed out the weakest. What about if the third one was supposed to be the strongest? So that was cool. That was interesting enough. I know that the Zods are very extremely militaristic, so that functioned for the sake of this conversation. I didn't actually take notes, which is kind of a mistake. I just have some of the names here so I can remember them. The two people from House Vex, Daddy and daughter. Wow, real evil there. You know what I'm saying? Real evil. So this girl, what the heck was? I did write down her name. What the heck was her name? Kaldor, the girl who gave false witness, the one who was arrested by lyta-zod, and then she gave false witness. No, the guy was armed, even though he was in handcuffs. I handcuffed him afterwards or something. Sure. Man, we see this stuff in the news all the time, dude. We see this stuff in the news all the time. So seeing this girl, it turns out that she's actually having relations of sorts with Papa Vex. That's messed up. And then we see that, I don't know, it was hard to tell. It's always hard to tell with manipulators, you know what I'm saying? But it looked as though he didn't know that she was going to be assassinated in her cell, which means that the daughter arranged that. It seems like maybe she did, but you can never really tell with these two. It's like they're working against each other. At least she's working against him. So that was weird. But either way, that one moment of weakness by Mama Zod was literally blink and sucka, you missed it. Where she just kind of turns and goes like that. I missed it the first time. And the second time when I see that, I'm just like, oh, wow. She really did. That really was her. So when she turns around and says to her daughter, to Lyta, you are the source of my greatest shame. No. It's one thing to be weak-minded and blame other people, but amongst family members, dude, if a dude in the street were to hit me, that's one of those things where you're calling the police. If you're not beating the snot out of the guy to begin with, you know what I'm saying? But you're calling the police, you're pressing charges to the full extent of the laws. But if it's domestic, if your own brother punches you, you know what I'm saying? You fight back, whatever, and you had enough. You good? All right. no police are called. And if the police come, all of a sudden, you two who just got finished punching each other, into unconsciousness practically, you stand up for each other. Hey, we don't need no cops here, right? Like, it's weird. Family loves to bully each other, man. Like, you just get away with so much with family, and it's rude. It's rude, and I don't put up with that, family or otherwise. And lyta-zod, man. Hey, what's going on? Oh, going to work, Victor? Hey, what's going on, brother? Have fun at work. Seeing Mama Zod, that moment of weakness, her weakness, and then turning, like, realizing she can't handle the corruption, so she's going to get herself further embedded in the corruption, but then turn around and blame this on her daughter. Her daughter's already made her own mistakes, but now you're compounding that mistake even further. Don't blame anybody. That's on you, Mama Zod. That's on you. We see another Zod in here. We see, it looks like it's Dru-Zod. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the name Dru-Zod, this is kneel before Zod. And everybody's just like, oh, Zod, General Zod. General Zod is like the big, one of the biggest enemies of, ever since Richard Donner's Superman movie. He's the biggest enemy of Superman. I know Lex Luthor, but somebody can go toe-to-toe with him is General Zod, and he's got the middle. His name is actually Dru-Zod. Like, there's always like s.h.i.e.l.d, Van-El, Kal-El, Jor-El. You know what I'm saying? Zod is the house name, General Zod. It's Dru-Zod, so D-R-U, keep that in mind. Anyway, comic book nerd knowledge, baby. So, Dru-Zod, like, shows up. And yeah, this has to be him, because Dru-Zod was the adversary of Jor-El. Jor-El is the father of Kal-El. Kal-El is Superman. So that has to be him. If he's at the very end when he's like, hey man, you're my mom. What? Are you kidding me right now? So that's got, like, and obviously from the future he's already met Superman and everything because he's much older at this point. That's sick. That was sick. I loved that. I loved seeing that. So we've actually got, like, cool guy up here, kneel before Zod. Dru-Zod is in the series. Did not expect that. Crap, now I gotta make General Zod explained in a minute. Fine. I got my voice back mostly, so I can start doing those again pretty soon. Anyway, so, here's something that I didn't like from the movie, because you get to see the House of... This is interesting. Now, remember, I've been mentioning this in pretty much every episode review that I do. World of Krypton, Volume 2, the 4-issue miniseries. That is where all of this, for the most part, is coming from. There are obviously a lot of changes that are happening with this series, but you could see the root of all of this in that original 4-issue miniseries back in 1985, I want to say, something like that. So that World of Krypton, Volume 2, that's where you have the actual story of Van-El, the grandfather, the grandfather of s.h.i.e.l.d. in this series. What do you call it? So in there you get to see that the House of Van-El, is actually kind of responsible for the first time, for the reason why Krypton is going to be destroyed. It's not directly his fault, but indirectly, it's 100% his fault. You know what I'm saying? And go check out, I have a Spotlight on Story, World of Krypton, if you want to hear me explain in about a half an hour or so the entirety of that, those 4-issue series. Or go to your local comic book store, check it out yourself. Anyway, so, what do you call it? The biggest change that happened in this series right now is actually to Adam Strange's character. There's a, not quite blink and you miss it, but bleach your eyes out from seeing another guy's butt. What do you call it? Moment and you miss it. It looks like they're going to make Adam Strange gay in this. I understand the idea of having to introduce gay characters to get a larger segment, a larger population to enjoy your show, to feel included. I'm all about inclusion. You know what I'm saying? I am. I'm what do you call it? Former businessman, marketer. You know, saying we took classes on inclusion. Inclusion is one of the most important parts, and you can't make it be artificial. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to get like the black population to like my product or to try my product, I can't try and directly do that because I don't have any association with that. I actually have to find good, intelligent people from that community because they're going to know how to talk to each other, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that myself. I don't have the capability to do that. I don't have the faculties to do that. I just don't. Recognizing your weakness is an important part of understanding your strengths in marketing, in business, any kind of business. You know what I'm saying? So I remember taking those classes on inclusion. You know what I'm saying? What do you call it? Like I said, one of the actually I didn't say one of my biggest things I talk about with people with marketing with Costco. Costco had a huge problem selling their chickens, rotisserie chickens, which is one of the biggest products that Costco has. If you ever go into a Costco and you see those rotisserie chickens out there, people just buy them like crazy. Oh, that's dinner tonight. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Buy some steak sauce. We're good. You know what I'm saying? They tried to sell them in China. Did not sell. No joke. Not a single one. How's that possible? They had 3 Costcos in China. Not a single one of those rotisserie chickens sold. What happened? Easy. Hey, what's going on, Sean? It's a dry morning. So what happened? How come those chickens didn't sell? Chinese people don't see a chicken as being an actual chicken if the neck is not attached. It sounds silly. It sounds weird to us, to like Americans, to Canadians, to Westerners, to non-Chinese people. But to Chinese people, selling it without a neck is weird. I don't know what's wrong with that chicken if I can't see the neck. That's just the way that they buy their chickens. That's just the way it is. And how is some white guy at the time? What was the owner, the CEO, the founder of Costco? I know his name. Anyway, Senegal. His name was Senegal. John Senegal or something like that. Anyway, how the heck was he supposed to know that? He's American. He's white. How's he supposed to know that? So it's the idea of hiring the proper people there, and that was a huge mistake that Costco did. It cost them a lot of money. So I understand the idea of wanting to have gay representation in this TV show. Of course, it only makes sense. Don't be dumb. Definitely have some inclusion there. But you're looking to ostracize people like me. Why? Because I don't like gay people? No, I don't have a problem with that. But Adam Strange, you can check out Adam Strange, explained in a minute. The link is actually below. Adam Strange, from his inception, was kind of created on the idea that he's not gay. That Sardath, the guy who actually created the Zeta beam that allows him to travel back and forth between Ran and Earth, he has a daughter. And his daughter's name is Alana. And he and Alana and Adam Strange get together. They actually get married. They've been married for years in the comic, decades in the comic book, all right? Really long time. They have a daughter, Alana, Alina. They have a daughter together. All of this is kind of important to the creation, the actuality of this character. So by making Adam Strange gay or even bisexual here is like, what exactly are you doing? But I guess they already changed it enough by saying that he, like earlier, I think it was the previous episode, he says, oh yeah, you like that? That's the Zeta beam. I created that. I was hoping that he was just being facetious, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't create it. Sardath actually created that. But it's like, if you're going to change a character a little bit like that, okay, you just want to eliminate Sardath, you want to eliminate Ron, I guess, for whatever reason, why you would want to eliminate Ron, another planet, another culture, all this crazy stuff right now. Like, why exactly would you do something like that? Why would you just eradicate an entire story that you could tell? Why would you do that? More than that, like, and that to me is just a silly decision. But actually changing a character that has existed in the comics for a very long time. He was inspired by Flash Gordon and John Carter from Mars, for crying out loud. Why would you change a character so much that he's not actually that character anymore? That it's literally just slapping a name on somebody. Hey man, here's an idea. I'm going to take this rock. I've got a rock here. And I'm going to call this rock the Thing. Now, it's literally just a name and the fact that it's a rock, but it's a green rock. It's not an orange rock. So that's not Ben Grimm anymore, the Thing from the Fantastic Four. No, it's just a rock that I called the Thing, Ben Grimm. And I'm going to throw it at people. They're like, you see that? It was clobbering time. Nobody is going to say that's an awesome character I just made. They're going to say, why didn't you just CGI in the Thing or something like that? Or just get a stupid costume? Why would you do something like that? Why do you change a character so drastically that it's not actually the character? Why not just make a brand new character? You don't even need to, so you're sucking in the fans, the fans of the comic books. You're saying we need the comic book fans behind us. So you're going to grab the comic book fans by saying, oh, Adam Strange is going to be in this show. Cool, right? And we're going to be like, really? We're going to have a big screen, or a small screen appearance by Adam Strange? Yes, I'm down. But then when we get there and we realize it's a complete and total bait and switch, and you just change this character, so we're not going to see Ron, we're not going to see Alina and his wife, and eventually his daughter, we're not going to see Sardoth. Like, they said there's going to be Adam Strange in here, plus, what's her name, Hawkwoman. Okay, which means that it's going to be the Shi'ara version, the Thanagar version of Hawkwoman. I did explain in a minute of her also. So I'm thinking we could actually have, in Season 2, the Rann-Thanagar Wars, which was an amazing story in the comic books. I loved it. And what a great idea that would be to have Krypton somehow externally involved in the Rann-Thanagar Wars, because it's an amazing storyline. The story's already written for you guys. You've already got a built-in audience. But now you turn around and you say, no, there's no Rann. There's not going to be there's obviously not a Sardoth. There's never going to be a daughter, you know what I'm saying, because he's gay in this. So there will be no procreation by a character who his relationship with this woman is kind of crucial to all of these storylines inexorably in the comic books. You literally just shot bullets, shots fired at us fans. Why would you suck us in just simply to bait and switch and be like, screw you guys? Because that's actually what they're doing. There comes a point, like this is actually the first truly negative thing I've got to say about this TV show. They screwed up royally, and this is going to come back and bite them. I'm looking at the future right now. This is going to come back and bite them hard. So I said all the cool things I loved about this episode, but I did not like this episode. And people could turn around and try and say the bad things that they want to say, like, oh, Bill's anti-gay. You might find out, if my life starts to come open and you start to find out a whole bunch of things about the close company that I keep and the family that I've got, you might suddenly become surprised. And then what happens to you? I've got no problem saying I don't like the idea they made Adam Strange gay. If the Sci-Fi Channel wants to try and throw shade and try and attack, bring it. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it before. All right, we've seen it before when people are like, "Why did you make Johnny Storm black in the Fantastic Four, the Fan Four Stick movie? Now he can't be the actual sister of Sue Storm because she's white. Why would you do that?" So they turn around and they say, because let's be realistic, the first family of Marvel, all right, the Storms, married into the Richards, and then Ben Grimm comes along because he's a good lackey. But the idea is, like, a lot of the stories from the very beginning, from like issue 2 or 3 of the Fantastic Four, way back in the early 60s, they revolved around the family of Sue and Johnny Storm. And not because of a stupid adoption angle, because you decide you want Michael B. Jordan in the movie. Dude, he's a great actor. He was a freaking fantastic actor. But if you really, really, really need to make him black, then why don't you make Sue Storm black also? So that at least they could actually be real brothers and sisters. Why not just do that? It didn't make sense. Forced inclusion does not work. They tried to do that with the whole Lady Ghostbusters thing. You know what I'm saying? It became the Lady Ghostbusters thing. Fans like me were upset because it's like, okay, you're saying that these women are coming in, they're taking over, and it's going to be like the original Ghostbusters never existed. You're not going to have any real relationship. Like, you're not going to acknowledge that the original Ghostbusters still existed. And then they try to turn that around and say, oh, they're all misogynistic. These fans are just they're just sexists. They don't think that women could be actors. Not a single person on the face of this planet said that. Or at least I hope not. I hope if they are, they're idiots. But we fans didn't say that. We're totally cool with you having brand new, because those older guys, they're older. They're those, Bill Murray and all those. Bill Murray doesn't even want to do the stupid movies anymore. Forget him. You know what I'm saying? Forget him. He doesn't want to do those movies anymore. Bye. You know what I'm saying? We understand there's not going to be another there's not going to be a real Ghostbusters 3. We get it. We're okay with that. You want to have new actors coming in, men, women, gay people, whoever. Nobody cares. Just make there be some kind of a passing of the torch. Otherwise, it's not earned. We're just watching a reboot. I don't want a reboot. this is the world of reboots, where you take all these cool movies that I watched in a drive-in movie theater in the 80s, and then you're rehashing them and giving them back to me again, so I'll buy your DVDs and watch your movies, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not, anything that I see as a reboot, I am not happy to see it. So, I know this is a rant, but that kind of applies to here also. This is the very basis of the problem. This is the origin of the problem with this kind of a show. You do not say, here's a character that you'd really like to see, and then it's actually not him. Look, it's somebody else, just with that same name. That was a huge mistake. And I get the very specific, very definite feeling inside of me that's going to come back to bite them too, just like it bit the sales of Ghostbusters. Nobody went to see it. You didn't sexist shame anybody, misogyny shame anybody into seeing the movie, so that we can say, look, I bought a ticket because, look, I bought the movie. I'm not a sexist, see? People aren't that weak-minded. In general, people aren't that weak-minded. And we don't need big, highfalutin TV executives or movie executives telling us what we are or are not going to watch. So I think this was a huge mistake on Sci-Fi's part. Will it be detrimental to the show? We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.